Look at that. Ah, this is further evidence of how I like to believe I don't lose things. I just misplace them. And this is a fine example of it. Because so many times I lose something that is dear to me. I don't give up. I keep looking, and I'll find, where the hell is my coin? Shit, I went all day without my coin. I owe me a beer. Put it on a rain check. I'll finish this one first. Find the coin in the yard. I find crystals, just shit, you know. Everything I lose that I like. That really means something to me. I let them go, but not before I try. And so this morning, I was driving out in the dark, and something started rattling under my car somewhere, engine compartment in there. I don't know what the fuck. And I hadn't even got a cigarette left. Well, I just finished one, which means it's right at the beginning of my trip. I got the next one ready. And I had my lighter in my hand, and it starts going, I said, is that the radio? So I'm changing stations. I listen to pretty loud. I know it's on every station, so I shut it off and listened. I said, ooh, that doesn't sound fucking good. I said, I'm gonna be on the road for a while. I might wanna check that out. And so I set my lighter down between my legs there, and pulled off into this little mom and pop grocery store with a dirt parking lot that I never knew was there. It was like, oh, they sell beer right there. I have found a way. I don't have to go so far to get beer anymore. And see, I found two things today. I don't always go by that 3 of something thing, but if you want to believe something really good is going to happen to me, make it a big one for number 3. Yeah, so, you're thinking, that doesn't sound like such a nice story. Your fucking car's going to shit. And I got out there under light, opened my hood, and was looking, and it just as I was pulling into that dirt park, that is the interesting thing. I pulled off the road into this dirt parking lot of this building that the people, obviously it's like a home, but there's a store underneath it. I know I've been by there, never realized it. I've never been in the parking lot because the people that own the store, the little party store, convenience shop downstairs, mom and pop, whatever, they just lived there. And so I'm sitting there at this house, and I noticed, I said, what the fuck? And I said, I'm probably gonna get shot out here, but I'm a pretty good talker and I smile a lot. It confuses people, so I figure I'd be okay. And I'm looking around, I'm like, what the fuck? And I get my head under the car and I see where something's hanging, but it's still hooked up. Well, I pressed it up. I didn't hear anything pop, but it's there. I don't fucking know. And so I said, I gotta get out of here. I got back in, started the car, took off. No more rattling, none whatsoever. There's even all day, no more rattling. Can't be a good traveling shoe salesman if you're pulling up in a rattly ass car and nice shoes. They think he's not buying those shoes. He takes them right out of fucking stock and fucking writes it off at inventory. Look at this piece of shit. This guy's got no money, and he wants me to spend that kind of money on a pair of shoes. You can't go into a fucking deal looking like that. And so it was no problem. But I'm a quarter mile down the road, and I just had my cigarette, and I reach for my lighter. I keep things in the same spot all the time so I don't have to look. I don't have to think. It creates muscle memory. My lighter sits right up against my brace so it doesn't slide over the fucking edge when I'm taking curves, because the brace sticks pretty good to the leather for some reason. And reach for it, it's gone. I said, what the fuck? He said, did I put it back in my pocket? I said, it's not in my pocket. And I had lost track of my Bic backup lighter when we were camping for a Wastoid weekend there, you know, Memorial Day, you know, Wastoid weekend. Just because it's Memorial Day doesn't mean you have to remember anything. Let's get loaded. Yeah. And so I've got to deal with my map pocket lighters. I've got a couple crappy ones, and I got my Sturgis Bic that's in there, that's been there for 6 years, that I never carry around regularly, just for a couple days at most. And so I'm not using that. But I said, where the fuck? And then when I got to work, the place where I stopped, I got out and I looked under the seat around. I looked on the other side in case it had flown off. Nope, not there. And excuse me. The reason my voice has been gone is because of Wastoid weekend, and I got to do a double shot. I opened the show. The guy that ran the thing said, you, and everybody got mad because they didn't get to go. And so I did a whole lot of Rosie. And when I was doing that, when he stepped up to me, he says, it's going to play right into Welcome to the Jungle. He says, so keep going. I'm going up to the bar. I didn't fucking mean to sing any of these songs, but he's seen me sing them before, and so I did some dive rolls, and I did a lot of screaming. And then I did a TNT song by AC/DC later. I wanted to do Cold Hearted Man from the very start, but he said he couldn't get that. And I've never done that, but that's a song that needs to be fucking sung by me. That's why my voice is gone. There was some screaming that went on in the river the next day too. So that pretty much did it, I think. It's coming back. I realized I got out of the car with the lighter between my legs. It was still in my working memory when I looked for it. Short-term, subconscious working. And it must have slid out into the dirt parking lot there when I got out. And so on the way home, after stopping to buy a couple cartons of cigarettes, I cruised up to that place and took a left down that road I rarely go, and I pulled into that lot, and there were other cars, pickups and everything parked in the dirt, people coming in and out. And I said, it's something I would have picked up. And I walked up, and I was about 30 feet away, and I see it glint in the sun. It's still fucking sitting there. It's still there. And I found it. I found a place I'm gonna buy beer. And if they don't have Pabst, I'm sure they would order it for me, because I'm a loyal customer as long as you've got Pabst. If you can't carry my Pabst anymore, fuck you. It's as loyal as I get. What have you done for me lately? So, here it is. I see these lighters. I like them. I lose them all the time. I've lost several. This is the only one I've ever found. That was mine. The very first Zippo I had was one that I found. I woke up in the place where the party was the night before, and I was out having a cigarette, and there on the rail, there was a lighter, a silver one, and it had the Ace of Spades on it. Like Lemmy's Ace of Spades. That was it. And I thought, wow, maybe Lemmy was at the party last night, and he left this lighter for me to find. He doesn't want me to return it. He wants me to appreciate it. And so I came to learn the way of the Zippo, having to fluid up and change flints. It becomes habit. But I really have. I've been riding no-handed in a construction zone at a 25 on my motorcycle with the throttle lock on, and just sitting there and lighting a cigarette, no-handed, just riding 25. It'll take that. They'll go out, but they do all right. And so then I ended up losing that one. I was given another one. I lost that one. And I bought another one, lost that, bought another one, lost that. I always went to the places and looked, but given time. But this is the one that I lost and found. And I always say, it's no problem when I accept that I've lost a Zippo, because I know somebody else will find it, and it's a good lighter. And I say, Zippos are strong. And I say, you know, they last forever. And I think about the story of Lemmy losing his lighter, how I got mine from him. Probably, if he was there, it must. If he was at that party, then that's exactly the way it happened. Can't see it any other way. And how every Zippo that gets lost is found by somebody eventually who can appreciate it, and then they'll carry it and lose it again. So every Zippo has a story. You can rebuild it. You take the fucking... I would like to see the story of the Zippo. They talk about $1. That's pretty fucking, what do you call it? Mild shit you're gonna be getting. But you take the story of the lost Zippo and the finder of vicious lock, you'd see all kinds of good stuff. The kind of people that smoke, you know. And now we're about to find out how tough they really are. See, it was run over at least more than once. And before that, I ran over a turtle on the road. Not killed it, but went over it. And I tried to stop, but there were too many cars behind me. It had its head and legs inside. And it was just sitting there going, come on, don't hit me. Just don't fucking hit me. And I know there wasn't time for it to get out of the road before it'll be there in the morning. But that's what this Zippo was feeling like. Only this Zippo has a chance. We have the technology. We can rebuild it. They're not putting that Humpty Dumpty turtle back together no matter how hard they try. So you see it's all bent up. I'm gonna do this. It's been squeezed up here. There's that. Do that a little bit. That actually looks pretty good. We'll give that just low on that side. And if it happens to be too loose, I can always fucking pinch it like that to get it right. Okay, now in the little, whatever, the grill here, that was bent over. That looks pretty good. Now, this is all pinched in on it, so I'm gonna have to take it out. Realize, this is like in post-apocalyptic fucking what's left of civilization stuff. Like, you'll be going to a mechanic just like the doctor. You got appendicitis. That thing's got to come out. There's some guy says, I can probably figure it out. This is what it's going to be like in the future when all the smoke shops are closed. You got to find some guy that's growing his own, and you're like, my fucking Zippo got ran over by a fucking tank, man. Yeah, I'm like, this is the first time I've ever tried anything like this. But yeah, I think I can make it work. There, that's the inside of it. It's good that I have it out actually for this, because it reminds me I need to put a spare flint under the cotton there. Okay, so there's that. And now the inside's got to come out a bit. I'm trying to keep a little bit of the fucked up look to it. Pinch that way a little bit. Go that way a little bit. Probably gonna want to. Well, it's gonna be a bitch trying to get the thing out every time I need to put fluid in it and stuff. Yeah. I said, the oldest form of learning is trial and error. It goes right through all the fucking animals. It's one of those old ways of doing things that you just find out it works if you do it enough. I'll probably have to work a couple kinks out or something. But I'm certain that this thing is gonna work. And see, it's no big deal. But it's like Red Green says, if you can't be handsome, be handy. I'm being handy. Manual. Okay. Now, since this has been sitting out in the sun all day and getting run over by fucking tanks, you know what? It's not enough. What the fuck happened? Oh, that's just fine. I have to make an adjustment on that too. I see. Because right there, it's all squashed in. I'm trying to hold this flint. I've got another one if I lose it, but I'm talking. You can just put them on the ground if you want. I'll take them. Thank you. That was pretty good timing, actually. I was reaching that point where kind of run out of things to talk about. So we got to make it so the filter will go back in there. Just one on this side. That'd be just fine. Okay. I figure I'm gonna have to squeeze it a little bit. Oh, yep, just like I said. Lost the filter after all. You wonder why I don't edit these things? It's because would I rather waste my time doing that or waste your time while you sit here and watch me fucking do this shit? You know, sometimes maturity starts with the self. If I'm not happy, nobody else is gonna be. Isn't that the way these days? Okay. Lost track of this. There, saturate that fucker. Been sitting out in the sun. Oh. There. Now we'll, siete. We'll take and put it back in. See how this works. Motherfucker. Certainly not as good as I used to. Feel like I'm going in backwards. I know. I was just thinking what you were thinking. I heard it. I was like, if this motherfucker doesn't work after all this, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. Okay. There. Now this is a test run. An experimental smoker. The thing could fucking blow up on me. Looks like I'm gonna have to do something about that. The wheel's off kilter, but I'm afraid that I'm... Ta-da! I still got a good lighter. So now you know what you need to do. If the next time I find lose a lighter, misplace one, it means that I'm offering it to you. And if it's been run over by fucking tanks, you come find me. I'll fix that fucker for you.